Welcome to the video. This is the 2022 version of Miss T's Heat Transfer Calculator. Let's go ahead and show you how to set it up. When you open up your calculator, it's going to open something like this. This little purple calculator button, click it and you'll notice you get a bunch of options. What we need to do is we need to set up some things. So the first thing we want to do is go in and start clicking these buttons. We're going to select Customizable Blanks. Here on our Customizable Blanks, and we can close this and open it back up here at any time. Your plugin will come with a few products, but you're going to need to add your own. And what you want to do is go down to the bottom of this very last column, click it, right click, insert, and insert a row below, and it will insert a row below. If your sheet is locked, say you have protect sheet on, and you try to go here and click and insert a row, you will see that this is grayed out. So you have to make sure that your sheet is unprotected. Now, once you've added however many rows that you would like to add, we're just going to go in and add some merchandise. And let's add a tumbler, and I'm just going to make up a style number. Let's go tumbler 20. Tumblers. And I'm not sure how much a 20-ounce tumbler costs, so let me take a quick look over on the internet. % markup. And there we go. Now we have the cost of the tumbler and tote. Okay. Let's enter in a price. So that tote is $2. And we're going to put 200% markup. And now we have the price of the tote. Now that we've added our blank products, let's go in and add some attributes. Attributes are product colors, sizes, things of that nature. In this, now under product colors, you're able to go in and just add in some different colors. And let's see, we have a fuchsia, natural, and you would just add, for example, here, this should always be the cost of a white shirt, depending on the brand that you're working with. So when you go over to your blank attributes, you would notice there's no upcharge on a white shirt. And then when you add in color shirts, you can upcharge those to be whatever you want. Any type of upcharges you may do here for sizes above XL, like 2X, 3X, 4X, you can upcharge those sizes here. Let's check out the materials. Under the materials page, this is where it all goes down. Let's move this over to the side so that y'all can get a really, really good look at the materials page, or better yet, let's just close it. The materials page is where you're going to put in any products that you have, and these are going to be your supplies. For example, let's go here. We've got materials by sheet and the materials that you buy by the yard. Now I went ahead and started doing a little breaking this down by color for you guys, such as light inkjet materials. So if you sell inkjet transfers, this is where that would be. And I've actually gone ahead and went in and put in the actual wholesale cost that I found online for this stuff. Now, you may want to end up adding something in yourself. So I'm going to show you how to figure out the total square inches of a sheet, because this area calculates everything by sheet. So it's just going to be the total area, which is 4 by 6 here. If we were doing a 4 by 6 inch transfer, you just multiply that, and that will give you a total of 24 inches. Once you put in that 24 inches, you're just going to put in the cost that you pay per sheet for your material, the cost per sheet. So if you buy 100 sheet packs, break that cost down to the cost per piece. All of this stuff here will calculate for you. Just go in and put in your markup. Now, on inkjet transfers and sublimation papers and things like that, you can get a really great markup. Notice that on some of this stuff we have 500% markup, 2000% markup. Sublimation paper, you can mark it up like crazy, okay? And these are standard markups that I have in here. Now, when it comes to printable vinyl, you're not going to get as high of a markup on printable vinyl, but here are some things to kind of go by. And then we have the materials by the yard. So when it comes down to materials by the yard, you're just going to put all of that information in. And if you don't like the background of something, you can always go in and just change that background color of whatever that material is. And I think that's a little easier on my eyes. Same thing for your materials by yard. You can go in, if you wanted to color code any of this stuff, you can easily do so by just selecting the row. And let's say here I have, well, let's go here because I've got a lot of Caesar materials, and I can go here up to the little background color dropper, and I can click that. And if I wanted to add wording over here, okay, so let's just merge these cells together. Go to home, hit merge and center. That will make this one cell, and that way I can now type in that cell, and that's going to be my size of products. And if I don't want that going that way, there are tons of different things that I can do here. I can go there and click that, and then make that whatever size that I want it to be, and just center it. And there I have all of my size of products. Again, do the same thing here for my CAD cut products. I'm gonna go and select the background, and this can just be anything that you want. Just to give you guys an idea of things that you can do, how to customize the sheet and make it your own. I'm going to hit merge and center, and this time I'm going to have my text going up, and I'm going to click on the text box, and here I'm just going to put in CAD cut. Just a quick way for me to be able to look at my materials and know what materials I'm working with, right? And actually we left one of these out. So I'll go ahead and make that pink too. Okay, so now you have a nice colorful chart. Once you've added in your wholesale costs for the materials, we need to check our inks and add in ink costs. And we're just going to go ahead and do that. And at any time, if your chart is too big, just go here to the bottom and click on zoom and just zoom that out, because some of these charts, they get really big. And if you don't like this background here, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. You can remove those grid lines, and there we go. Okay, so now we have these colors, and again, y'all, I'm gonna change the background on this because it's kind of hard on my eyes. So just shows you what you can do in here when you are working and you want to make this be yours, right? Because it's all about making it be yours. And here, okay, so let's make that a little bit bigger for my eyes so that I can see. Okay, so here we have our markups for our inks, and this is when it really gets real. So any type of printers that you have, you're going to add in your inks. For example, I have several printers for sublimation, some for inkjet printing, my films for screen printing, so on and so forth. So you're just going to add in the type of ink, and I like to add it in by saying sub ink and the printer's name. That way I know when I'm selecting from the drop down menu exactly what printer I'm going to print with, and exactly so I can make sure that I'm using the right ink. I'm just going to kind of zoom in here just a little bit. And you've got these stroll buttons here at the bottom and over here on the side. Okay, so we're going to stroll through, make this nice and big so that you guys can see. So you're going to add in the cost of, you're going to add in the name of the ink and how much you paid for that bottle, right? And on your ink bottles, when you purchase your ink is going to come in mLs. So whatever the total mLs on the bottle is, you're going to just put that here. And let's show you an example. Okay, so let's say that we have a UV dot ink printer, right? And we're going to put in this at 1000 ml at $21.95. So I'm going to put this in so that real quick so that I don't forget. And what did I say? $21.95. And I know that that's under DTG inks, but just so that you can see what's going on. So this is how much with 800% markup on our inks. This is how much I paid per milliliter, and the average number of the average milliliters it takes to print a square inch. That's going to break your cost down by how much it costs you. How much it costs you to print each sheet so that you know, right? So basically to print an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet, you're looking at 3 cents to print that sheet, 17 cents to print 11 by 17, and so on and so forth. All of this will populate for you guys. So that's how you're going to add in your ink. And this goes all the way up to 13 by 19, and then it goes by the 44 inch roll. Once you've done that, we're going to go back and click on here, and let's click on Miscellaneous Data. Miscellaneous Data, this is where you're going to add in your salesperson's name, any type of shipping. Notice we have type, which is invoice or quote number, and I'm going to come back to that because I'm going to show you what exactly how to select that over on your invoice sheet. Document type here, invoice good or quote only. This all has to do with the same thing. So your invoice doubles as a quote sheet or as an invoice. And I'm going to show you how to do that over on the invoice sheet. You're going to add in your state sales tax percentage that you use, if you use that. And if not, then you're going to leave it as 0. But most states now do have sales tax. So you're just going to add that in. I'm going to put this in at 0%. And I want to do a little formatting here too. And if you want to remove those lines on the back, any grid lines or anything like that, there we go. Love it. Now all we have to do is go in here and check our customer data, which we're really not going to add customer data in the beginning. But if you have customers and you have a customer list and you want to go ahead and import those, you can go ahead and just copy and paste those in here now. This is the area where all of your contacts will go as you create orders. Any contacts that you put into the system will go into this area, which is going to be great when you start creating marketing materials for email, doing email marketing or text marketing, things like that. Even if you were to mail out information to your clients, this is a great tool, y'all. So make sure that you save your customers' information. Now let's go over to art and delivery, and under, let's go here. So now under, I just like to tidy this thing up a little bit, and I'm tidying it up before I send it out there to you all. Under art fees and delivery, this is where you will add in any type of artwork. A lot of people slip on creating art, right? And anytime that you're creating something for someone, you should be charging an art fee, guys. You should be charging an art fee. Unless it's something like a simple text logo. If I wanted my name on it, I wouldn't charge someone for that. But if I have to create a rhinestone design, or you come to me and you want a logo for your company, then I'm definitely going to charge you a art fee, or any type of work that I have to do with editing your current art, vectorizing it, converting it over to SVG, things like that. I'm going to charge you a art fee. So this is where you would enter in your art fees, name of it, enter in your art fees. If you're doing any type of rush orders, you want to go in and you want to add in a little fee for that, for doing rush jobs. And I've just got simple fees here, but you can make that whatever you want it to be. So here's the rush job. This is normal delivery, and you want to have a delivery date. Right now it's set in here to deliver 10 days out. This is 5 days out, extra 3 days, getting it in 2 days, getting it in 1 day. Now I'm going to show you how to edit this. Notice if you're doing a rush fee, up here you could see where it says equal to day, and the parentheses +1. So today +1 will give you this date. Today +2 gives you this date, 3, so on and so forth. Now you're learning how to code in Excel. Let's go in and go to our next thing that we have to do. Let's set up our prep time. Prep time is fairly simple, and I would suggest that you leave this toolbar exactly the way it is and not edit prep time. I would suggest that you not edit that prep time. And let's take those grid lines off. I don't like those ugly grid lines, y'all. So prep time is the amount of time it takes you to set up a job or to do any type of work, and this is where you're getting paid for your time. So according to the number of colors that are in your design, your print time is going to vary. When we say print time, so we've got the number of colors from 0 to 10. When we say print time is actually your printer, the time that it takes your printer to print it out, whether it's your inkjet printer, a sublimation printer, but any type of printer, the time that it takes it to print out the job, okay, in minutes. And we have that set on 2 minutes, okay, regardless of how many colors, because if you print a 1-color job, it's still 2 minutes. If you print a 10-color job, it's 2 minutes. You want to definitely leave this 0, leave this at 2 minutes. I've got that set there for a reason, y'all. So leave that alone. And then you've got your cut time. Cut time is going to be the amount of time it takes your plotter or your printing cut, like a Silhouette Studio, a Graph Tech cutter, any Cricut, any type of cutter, how long it takes that to cut that material. Notice I have 1 color at 1 minute, 2 colors at 2 minutes, so on and so forth, because the more colors in your design, of course, the more time it's going to take you to cut that design, and it may even be more than this, but I would leave it here to start. Same thing with weeding, how long it takes you to weed the design, okay? So we've got 1 color, takes you a minute to weed. 2 colors, they take you 2 minutes, so on and so forth. The time it takes you to heat press those designs. So we have 1 minute per color on heat pressing. And a lot of people will tell me, well, Miss Latana, I can heat press my designs and I can heat press a shirt in 30 seconds, or it only takes me 15 seconds to heat press. Well, this is the thing. When you're heat pressing, you have time that you have to load the shirt. You have to align the design on the shirt. And so we're not actually talking about the actual time that's set on the heat press to press it. We're talking about the time that it takes you to set up that whole job. Okay, so I hope that makes a lot of sense to you. But this is pretty standard. Now, let's go here and we're going to do some things with our shop overhead. And I'm going to just go in again and remove those grid lines. So once I do this, this is the final version, okay? So shop overhead, and I have the shop overhead at 30%. Most of the time, your overhead is going to be about 1/3 of everything that you do, right? Your overhead is going to be about 1/3. So I have your shop overhead set at 30%. You could set it at 33%. You could set it at 25%. Even if you're working at home, you're using lights, water, air. Yes, air. But you need those operations. You need that overhead in there for operational costs, right? And so you need to have that there. Any type of maintenance that you're doing and stuff like that, that's all going to fall in our shop overhead, and we add that in by a percentage. Now we have an hourly wage, and this is the wage that you're paying to yourself, or you're paying to people to do your pressing, weeding, printing, things like that. Now, what I have this set up in here because it's just me pressing, right? I'm actually averaging myself out at $45 an hour. Yes, $45 an hour. That's what I want to make. Okay, if I'm constantly working, I want to make at least $45 an hour profit. Now you can go in and you can change that, but just be aware that you're in business to make money, and I've got this set up like this for a reason. So if you have several people working, then of course that money is divided in. But let's go in and let's take a look. So the hourly wage for the heat press operator, this is the person who's pressing those shirts, $15 an hour. Y'all know, honey, minimum wage is going up to $15 an hour sometime soon, maybe in your place already, but here in Texas, I think they're still at about $8 an hour, but $15 an hour to heat press, and I think that's fair. And then you have the wage that you pay to weed, and weeding is at $15 an hour. I hate weeding, y'all. I prefer to charge myself $30 an hour to weed if I could, but I hate weeding. Just a little tip and a little tidbit about Miss T. So I've got that in at $15 an hour. Now, the hourly wage paid to a print operator and the wage to the cutter, the person who's, running the cutter, pushing the button on the silhouette or the cameo or whatever plotter cutter that you have. I only have that set at $7.50 each. It's kind of divided that $15, right? Because it's going to be one or the other. So I've got that kind of divided in because you're actually when you do a print and cut, you're back to that $15 an hour if you get that. So that's pretty self-explanatory, and I would leave those where they are to start out. If you need support, this is how you will get in contact with me, Latana, at tshirtshopdallas.com. Okay, and this is the website that you want to go to, latana.com. And now